It all, Kalia Copper's wig falls off in the middle of the game. They call a timeout. She runs to the locker room, putting her, you really can't make.
Seen it all. Officially seen it all. The WNBA never fails to deliver chaos, but this time it wasn't about a crossover, a buzzer beater, or even a fight. No. This time, the headline moment came from Kalia Copper's wig detaching itself mid-play like it was tired of the game and wanted to be traded. I swear on everything, this was not scripted, not pre-planned, and yet it felt like an episode straight out of reality TV. The moment it slipped, the ref stopped play. Alyssa Thomas called a timeout. Copper ran toward the locker room covering her head like she had just been hit with a pie, and the crowd gasped in disbelief.
This stuff up, and Caitlin Clark, though she's not playing in Chicago, she still takes over Chicago. She is the main attraction, the biggest draw in all of the...
You can't make this up. You literally cannot write a better comedy sketch. A wig flying off in the middle of a professional basketball game on national television while fans in the arena are desperately trying to hold in their laughter. But that's not even the wildest part. The wildest part came next, when a fan, one single soul in the stands, cracked a joke about it, and the league responded with the harshest penalty imaginable. They threw him out. Security marched in like he had committed a felony, grabbed him up and escorted him away like he was trying to storm Area 51. All because he pointed out the obvious. Copper lost her wig. This wasn't slander. This wasn't malicious. This wasn't heckling someone about their family or dropping slurs. No, it was laughter. Honest, organic, uncontrollable laughter. And the WNBA decided that was unacceptable. That's when you realize this league doesn't know if it wants fans or not. Caitlin Clark isn't even playing in Chicago, but she's still the biggest draw, still the reason arenas are filling up, still the main attraction even in her absence. Yet the conversation shifts from basketball to lace fronts and fragile egos. This is supposed to be basketball, supposed to be competition, supposed to be tough, gritty, fierce. But instead, we're talking about wigs on the floor.
Can't make this stuff up. You really can't make this stuff up. They stop playing. Alyssa Thomas calls a timeout. The wig's on the floor. Copper tries to hide behind DeWanna Bonner.
Players huddling like bodyguards trying to shield Copper's head from the cameras, and referees treating it like a technical malfunction that required a full stoppage of play. Imagine a man's toupee flying off in an NBA game. You think they're stopping for that? You think Adam Silver is pausing the Lakers and Celtics in the fourth quarter because LeBron's hairline adhesive couldn't handle the sweat? Not a chance. They'd keep playing while Twitter roasted him alive. But the WNBA? No, they halt the game, throw out fans, and try to act like it's sacred ground. Let's be real. This league constantly says it wants attention, wants equal pay, wants the spotlight. Well, congratulations, you got the spotlight, but not because of your fundamentals, not because of your shooting percentages, not because of your defense. You got the spotlight because your wig tried to declare free agency mid-possession. This is why people clown the league. This is why critics laugh when WNBA players demand the same money as NBA stars. You can't demand NBA checks while giving us VH1 Love basketball energy. And the fan who got ejected? That man deserves a statue. He is the unsung hero of the night. He said what everyone in the building was already thinking. He said what everyone on social media was already typing. And for that, they treated him like a criminal. The refs didn't just warn him. They didn't just tell him to tone it down. They physically removed him like he was disrupting national security. That is the energy this league operates on. Zero sense of humor.
DeWanna Bonner not doing her any favors. DeWanna Bonner not doing any favor. That's got to be some type of girl code, right? There's got to be some type of code. If my wig falls off, you all need to huddle around me and make sure this moment.
Zero tolerance for embarrassment and zero understanding of what fans actually want. The truth is, this wasn't just a wig malfunction. This was a full-blown identity crisis on display. A moment where the league's insecurity was exposed as badly as Copper's scalp. Because here's the thing, the WNBA has been trying to sell itself as elite, serious, worthy of respect. But the reality keeps punching through the illusion. Empty arenas disguised with curtains. Fake social media narratives hyping elite players with 8 points per game. Manufactured drama pretending there's parity when we all know half the league is irrelevant. And now, Hairpieces being treated like sacred relics. This is the league of make-believe. And every time they overreact like this, they prove the critics right. The funniest part is, wigs and weaves in sports are not new.
Reasons I can't take this league seriously. This is one of the many reasons that I refer to the WNBA as pretend basketball. This league is literally the world of make.
Anyone who's played women's hoops at any level knows that ponytails get snatched, braids get yanked, buns get pulled mid-rebound. It's been happening for decades. But this was next level. This was the wig saying, "Nah, I'm out." The way it flew, the way it hovered, the way the cameras zoomed in. It was like the wig had its own highlight reel. The memes online wrote themselves. AI edits of the wig giving a post-game interview. Clips of it slow motion spinning through the air with gospel choirs in the background. People tweeting, "Better handles than half the roster." And all of it was free publicity for a league desperate F. The wig may have hit the floor in Chicago, but the shockwaves it created traveled far beyond that arena. Social media was on fire before Copper even reached the locker room. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Everywhere you looked, there were memes, slow-motion edits, AI skits, and jokes flying faster than the wig itself. People were already editing it into Space Jam clips, giving it its own highlight reel, calling it the best free agent signing of the season. And the best part? It overshadowed everything else that happened on the court. The final score didn't matter. The box score didn't matter. Even Copper's actual performance didn't matter. What mattered was the lace front that refused to finish the game. And that's what the WNBA doesn't understand. In sports, sometimes the story isn't about the X's and O's. Sometimes it's about the culture, the memes, the energy.
Believe. It's a league of myths and fantasies, mythical racism, fake victims. The media describes WNBA players as elite athletes, which is one of the greatest myths ever told. There are players in the WNBA pretending.
That's what makes leagues thrive. The NBA learned this decades ago. Dennis Rodman dyed his hair different colors and made headlines. Meta World Peace ran into the stands. Shaq ripped down backboards. All of that became part of the league's lore. Fans loved it. Media ate it up. It kept people coming back for more. But the WNBA, they panic. They overreact. They try to control the uncontrollable. They don't realize that moments like this are opportunities, not disasters. And by ejecting a fan for laughing, they sent a message loud and clear. This league doesn't get it. Let's talk about that fan again. Imagine paying your hard-earned money to attend a game. You're sitting there, enjoying the atmosphere, and then the most unexpected comedy skit in sports history unfolds in front of your eyes. Of course you laugh. Everyone laughs. But then security comes down the aisle, taps you on the shoulder, and suddenly you're the villain.
People just can't get it right. The WNBA just cannot get it right. Y'all got to make a decision, bro. Do y'all want fans or not? Do y'all want fans or not? This is ridiculous. Listen, I wasn't even...
You're being dragged out like you tried to run onto the court. All because you pointed out what was already obvious. That's not just an overreaction. That's an insult to the very people the league needs most, the fans. Because without fans, there is no league. Without people in the stands, without viewers at home, without engagement online, the WNBA doesn't exist. And yet, they treat fans like inconveniences. They beg for support, beg for attention, beg for investment. But the moment a fan reacts in a way they don't approve of, boom, gone. That's not how you build loyalty. That's how you alienate people. And here's where it gets even more ridiculous. Copper wasn't the only one embarrassed that night. The announcer almost lost his job trying not to laugh. You could hear him stuttering, fumbling for words, desperately searching for the most neutral phrase possible.
I'm gonna touch on this. I left it alone. I left it alone until I saw a fan was thrown out of the game for laughing. This is ridiculous. The WNBA, y'all cannot be so
Possible equipment malfunction, he said, as if the wig was part of team-issued gear. Sir, call it what it is. A wig just went flying across the hardwood. Own it. But no, they're trained to protect the image, to never admit what's happening, to always sanitize the story. And that's the problem. Sanitized stories don't go viral. Sanitized stories don't make people laugh. Sanitized stories don't build culture. Real, raw, unfiltered moments do. That's why the internet roasted the league. That's why the memes spread like wildfire. Because fans want authenticity, not cover-ups. Meanwhile, Copper became the unwilling face of the funniest viral moment of the season. It wasn't her fault, but the way it was handled made it worse. Instead of it being a harmless blooper, it became a symbol of the league's fragility. The jokes wrote themselves. WNBA, where wigs get more airtime than three-pointers. Defense so strong it snatched the hairline too. Copper's wig had more hustle than half the roster. And you know what? Those jokes aren't just mean-spirited, they're attention, they're engagement, they're proof that people are watching. That's the irony. The WNBA cries about lack of coverage, lack of exposure, lack of interest. Then, when something finally breaks through into the mainstream, they punish it. That's self-sabotage at the highest level. And let's not pretend this is an isolated incident.
The world, I was not going to talk about this morning. Not a chance in the pit of Hades. Pay us what you owe us. That entire slogan looks ridiculous this morning.
The WNBA has a pattern of fumbling opportunities. When Angel Reese got ejected earlier this season, instead of turning it into a redemption arc or letting the drama build naturally, the league tried to sweep it under the rug. When Caitlin Clark got targeted with elbows and cheap shots, instead of protecting her, they ignored it, hoping it would go away. And now, with Copper's wig flying off, instead of leaning into the comedy, they treated it like a crisis. Over and over, the league shows it doesn't know how to handle the spotlight, and every time, it costs them. Because here's the truth, fans don't just watch sports for fundamentals. They watch for stories. They watch for drama. They watch for moments that they can talk about at work the next day. That's why people tune into the NBA. That's why the NFL dominates Sundays. That's why even college sports get more traction. Because it's...
Fan got ejected for heckling this is utterly absurd. And it was players that turned in the fans. What is going on here?